Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the Crockett Show in social media history. I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone. I got my man in the building, Donovan Sadiq, the Queen, Demetri K, and I am the 5-star general. We at the same point we was last May. 8 cops that killed another black man, Daunte Wright. I guess it's time we talk about it. And we're going hard in the paint. So hide the women and children or put you some headphones on. All right, here we go. Say, man, I want to welcome you to another episode of the War Zone and tell you thank you for tuning in, because, you know, without you guys, we would not have a show. And we really appreciate you taking the time out to tune in to the show. Donovan?
Hey, you guys, welcome to the Monday edition. A lot of stuff is going on. I don't know if you guys were like me, but with the killing of the young black man yesterday, I was kind of thinking that have they made a decision on the case and whatnot. So we got a lot to get into with that. Once again, in the news, if you guys haven't heard, in addition to the young man that was killed in Minnesota, 10 miles away from where the trial is going on for Chaven, a U.S. military army officer, black man, was disrespected and basically almost killed for a traffic stop, or it wasn't even a traffic stop. It was an infraction of not having a license plate, even though he had tags on his car. And all of a sudden now, that's nothing new to anybody that's been in the military. When you're a black person, much less an officer in uniform, that doesn't matter to any of these law enforcement officials. But here's the one thing we have to point out, and Demetri pointed it out yesterday. Notice that the officer that was being very hostile toward the military officer, and that police officer said he was a veteran himself, he was Hispanic. So what is that telling you? He was Hispanic. They think that they are just as white as white supremacy. White supremacy is on the march. So let's get into it. We got a lot of stuff to get into. Demetri K, what do you got for us?
So hello, beautiful people out there. If you can do us a favor and share this live so that everybody else can get the information and join in on the conversation. As Gary and Donovan both said, we have a lot to talk about tonight. But first, I just want to give you a briefing on the Derek Chauvin murder trial. This is day 11. It was day 11 of the witness testimony. It was a very long day, kind of, sort of, but they only had 3 witnesses. One was a cardiologist, and he agreed with everybody else. In the medical field, it said that George did not die due to drugs or a heart attack or high blood pressure, any of that stuff. He died due to the excessive force of Derek Chauvin. They were all clear about that. And the defense asked, Dr. Rich was his name. He asked him, he says, well, do you think if George would have gotten a car, he would still be alive? He says, I think if he was not done the way he was done, he would still be alive. So it's not an issue of him, not getting in the car. And that was the first time that the defense really just blatantly came out and blamed George for his own death, because at first they were kind of like, well, what maybe could have been the drugs or his pre-existing health condition. But today they just came out and says, well, basically, like we always see white supremacists in the comment section saying, well, if he would have just complied, he might still be alive. And so another witness came forward, and he was an excessive force expert. And he basically said that any reasonable officer should have been able to deal with a counterfeit bill call or someone who was intoxicated. But they said, he said they didn't even try to do any other alternatives other than restraining him. And he said the restraint took place all 9 minutes and 29 seconds from the time they took him, George, out of the car and to the time that the ambulance took him away. And so, he was like, this was excessive force. It was not due to him being on drugs or any of that other stuff. And so the defense also asked, well, basically, and I'm paraphrasing, are you sure it wasn't drugs? And he says, well, drugs might have, he said itself was a factor, but it wasn't the cause of him dying. So he says it wasn't a threat. Like, a person can do drugs and not be a threat to a police officer, or a person can have pre-existing conditions and not be a threat. And so all the experts that came forward were on the same page, saying that it was Derek Chauvin that caused the death of George Floyd. Now, the prosecution has rested its case, and the defense is going to put on its case tomorrow. The judge told them, everybody in the court, I want this case wrapped up by the 19th. I want the jury to at least have the be able to deliberate on the case by the 19th, and also told them to pack a bag if the defense rests on Friday, because you guys will be sequestered and you will stay until a verdict is rendered. So you guys stay tuned for that.
Well, we back at square one. We back at square one. Daunte Wright. What can I say, man? Hold on a second, y'all. Oh man, hold on. I'm trying to get this thing up.
At this press conference, they released body camera footage from one of the officers that was involved in this incident. The police chief said that it was his decision to release this body camera footage. We are going to show you a little bit of it. We want to warn you in advance. It's quite graphic, but we're going to show you this, and then we're going to show you afterward a little bit of how the police chief explained what you are able to see in the video. So again, take a look at this warning. It is graphic.
Oh wow.
Yes.
I guess taser malfunction. This is kind of emotional because we've seen it over and over again. We've seen it over and over again. This kid didn't have to die. I'm sorry. I mean, for those out there that with your complying, and the kid didn't have to die. You know, absconding from law enforcement is not a death sentence. Evading arrest is not a death sentence. I'm sorry. And for those out there that want to scream that you either have never encountered law enforcement or you're just not black. It's easy to say what you should have done. But Daunte Wright did not have to die. And tonight we're going to really get into this. We're going to dig off into it. So if I'm just give you the disclaimer before we start. If you're a white supremacist, this ain't the program for you. I'm going to tell you before we start. If you on the compliance stuff, this ain't the program for you. Because we not feeling it tonight, man. We not feeling it tonight. But black folk, you ain't getting a pass either. You national activists, you ain't getting a pass tonight either. Everybody finna get the business tonight. Donovan?
Yeah, so, I was looking at that video and I was thinking about this. You know how they constantly tell us that, oh, these are professional officers and they're constantly trained in their jobs and they know what they do. Now, I'm not a police officer. I was a trained military person, and we all know that anybody, if you are strong-armed, versus if you're stronger in your left than and then your right, and vice versa, that's the side that your gun is on. Okay, right? I mean, are we all in agreement with that, right? That's just common sense. If I'm left-handed, my gun is on my left side because I'm left-handed. If I'm right-handed, it's on my right side. Professional officers, they're trained constantly to know where their tools are at. You mean to tell me this woman, quote, allegedly, quote, accidentally took her gun out with her strong hand, knowing that that's where her fire weapon is, and accidentally shot him? I'm just not buying it. I mean, they could spin this any way they want to spin it. It's not working anymore. It's just not working. We all can tell the difference of how heavy a gun is versus what a taser is. So that excuse, it just isn't flying. And like we've been saying on this show and on other shows, white supremacy is on the march, and black people, especially black men, you are the prey. And you better do something to start defending yourself, because we see it. It doesn't matter if you're a military person like me. They look at us and we're just black and they're shooting point blank.
Yeah, so absolutely. I mean, again, this is a case of another black man who has lost his life due to, the wholesale murder of race soldiers. That's just what they are, right? I don't care what you say. Yeah, somebody is going to say, well, he should have complied and, and all that other stuff. Yeah, you should have, would have, could have, and all of that, but he was not a threat. He was leaving. And, we all saw right now, the video of her saying, oh, to me, it's like, if you really think about it, she's saying taser, taser. So she's saying that. I don't know who she's saying it to. Clearly, she knows her body cam is on. And then she confesses after she realizes, oh, I shot him, as he took off. And so now they're saying, they being the police chief and all that, it's an accident. It was an accident. She meant to tase him. She didn't mean to draw his gun. All right, now hold up. Wait a minute now, okay? In that same state, Muhammad Noor, y'all know him, Muhammad Noor, he is the officer that shot that white woman, and he said it was what? An accident. Said it was an accident, and he is now giving the feds 12 and a half years over an accident. In fact, said he is the first police officer there that, has been charged and is given real jail time, right? Like, we've seen officers flat out kill people in cold blood and didn't do any time, or they've gotten a slap on the wrist. But of course, we know he's black, and so he's going to pay for killing that white woman. And they also paid her family to the tune of $20 million, which is the most expensive payout, they say, in history, police brutality history at that time. Also, you guys remember Betty Shelby? She killed Terrence Crutcher in 2016 on the freeway there. She accidentally killed him, even though the helicopter and all that was telling her to stand down, don't do it. She said it was what? An accident. And she walked. The white woman walked for taking a black man's life. And so, especially in regards to these female white police officers, we saw it there in Dallas, though she didn't get off, for killing Botham Jean. But that's what they do. Oops, it was an accident. Oh, I thought it was a taser. So I guess, everybody is supposed to feel sorry for her. And unfortunately, I've seen some Negroes say, oh, it was an accident. She didn't mean it. It was a mistake. She thought she was drawing her taser, but she drew her gun. But this was not in the middle of the night. This was 2:00 in the afternoon, where she could see, and I'm sure she's been trained a copious amount of hours or so to know the difference between a gun and a taser. And so if you ask me, and I'm not an expert, I believe that she was acting. She was acting. And, whether you guys realize it or not, to those race soldiers, to put a notch on their belt to kill a black man, that's like bagging a wild bear in the woods or something to them. It's hunting. That's what they do. They hunt black people. And you guys should know, that young man lost his life over an air freshener. The lies just keep coming in. Oh, his tags were expired. But his mama heard the interaction, and it was an air freshener. So basically, they profiled him and made up something to take his life.
I'll address that comment in a second. You mean to tell me that black people, white people, Somalians, Asians, Latinos went to the polls and put people in office who created a law that says that an air freshener hanging from a rearview mirror is a violation of the law. I don't know what the fuck y'all on, bro. I need you to listen to what I just said. Out of all the shit you could be doing down at City Hall, in the State House, you create a law that says an air freshener is a violation of the law if it hangs from your rearview. You have to be the sorriest fucking cop in the world to pull somebody over for a bullshit air freshener. Are we serious? Now I got rapists, murderers, drug dealers, pedophiles, people that violated probation and parole, and you looking for a motherfucking air freshener. Wow. America is fucked all the way up. If you came here tonight for 5-star, not to give it to you, you're in the wrong motherfucking building tonight. I don't hear no black politicians in an uproar in the state of Minnesota right now. And as usual, you need political cover before you open your fucking mouth. You need political cover before you say anything. You know what? I have to applaud the good white people, the good black people, all the nationalities that stood 10 toes down last night. I got to give it to them. They got far more bigger nuts than any one of you politicians who have major league platforms. You could affect legislation, you could affect laws, but you will not open your fucking mouth. And you don't open your mouth because black lives really don't matter. They don't matter. Now, to address your comment, I want to go back to your comment. He wasn't black. He was biracial. Well, what that mean, baby, if we was in slavery, his good yellow ass would have been in the house and I'd have been in the field, but we'd have still been slaves. Let me finish reading your comment. Biracial. Stop calling everybody black. If you got a spigot of black in you, they say you're a nigga. You want to have this conversation with me? That's why we will never get our reparations. No, we ain't gonna never get our reparations because y'all keep putting them sorry motherfuckers back in office that ain't gonna give it to us any motherfucking way. You see how I'm breaking your comment down? Because we claim every mixed person as black. If you got a spigot of it in you, you're considered a nigga. 3/4 white doesn't equal black. Why? Because it was an unjustly shooting. Any other time, we blacken a motherfucker. Any other time, even OJ at the end, he was a nigga. He was a nigga at the end. Y'all need to stop with the bullshit comments, man. I'm going to be honest with y'all. Your level of intelligence is the size of a motherfucking ant. And some of y'all realistically do not need to open your fucking mouths until your child is laying on the fucking ground. This woman lost her child. The first scenario they tried to spin, oh, the car was stolen. I'll come to find out mama gave him the car. Been having a car for a while. Whatever they kept throwing up, it wasn't worth it. I need for you black people to get your motherfucking head out the sands in your wannabe ass suburban neighborhoods where you ain't got half the furniture that a motherfucker got in the projects and realize you a nigga too. And your child or your husband or your daughter might be the next motherfucker laying on the ground. Fuck you.
I have to agree with that exact sentiment. It isn't our problem until it affects us directly. It isn't our problem. Since when did a minor infraction justifies a person being shot? It didn't even matter if he was resisting arrest. He was getting back in his car and going. Now, should he have done that? No, but that doesn't warrant him to get a death sentence. Not at all. But a lot of people out there will say, well, you know, you got to follow the police and whatever. You know what? It's just like that Army officer guy. Here was a military trained person who sat in this car and said, you know what, officer, to be honest, I'm afraid to get out of my car. I would be terrified with the way that these police officers, not just in one state, in one city, all over the nation, how these people are acting and reacting. White supremacy is on the march.
True Justice S says that was very ignorant. You know, you say that was very ignorant. You know what's very ignorant? For you to make that comment after that little white boy today made it to the jailhouse. After Dowling Roof made it to the jailhouse. After everybody that broke into a federal building on January 6th killed police officers, they made it home. Do you have anything else you want to say to me? I think your whole tune will change if you get pulled over and they put that pistol to your motherfucking face. Y'all just don't want to accept the fact you want to be here with these people. And my man Scarface made a comment today. I called and checked on him. Brad Jordan. He made a comment today, and it's similar to what I be saying. Since you motherfuckers don't want us here, can we get a ride back to where we need to go? We didn't ask to come here for this shit. We didn't ask to come here for this. And ever since we got off the boat, it's been problem after fucking problem. Man, please shut up. Please shut up. Because the white folks is making it home and the black people going to the graveyard.
Yeah, he wasn't True Justice. I don't think he was talking to you. He was talking about the comment that was made about biracial people. So yeah, I think that was
okay. Well, I apologize, but that what I just said for anybody that feel that way.
I'd like to address that comment about him not being Daunte Wright, specifically not being black because he was biracial. I'm of that mind frame to where it's like, I want to ask, are people serious? But then I know they're serious. And I agree with True Justice. It is ignorance. They're serious because they are ignorant. And what I want to know from, who was it? It was, I forget who, it doesn't matter at this point, who it was. Who are you to tell somebody what they are and what they are not? I always ask people who take exception to people not being, full black. Hell, ain't none of us full black, especially if you ADOS. You got some of massa up in you, right? But I don't understand, like, where do you get off? And I always wonder, people who claim to be full black, what are you doing with all your blackness to save black people? Besides sitting up on your false ass, wobbly perch, telling everybody else they ain't black enough. Black enough to do what? What are you doing with your blackness? Nothing. You're doing absolutely nothing with your blackness. And the same thing to people who say, well, her husband ain't black. His wife ain't black. What are you and your black ass wife or husband doing to save black people? That's the question you need to be asking yourself. But to sit up like you all of that, like Gary said, regardless of what color you are, how much black or how much white you got in you, we all on the same boat, going nowhere as black people. And you being full black is not a medal of honor nowhere, especially here in America. So you need to really educate yourself, because you know what I fear about ignorant people like you, whatever your name was. You talk to other people like that and they're just as dumb as you, and they believe every word you say because you sound convincing in all your ignorance. You sound very convincing, and you probably got 2 or 3 more other around. If you mix, you ain't really black. Just pure ignorance. Ignorance.
Well, let me piggyback on that. how many of us that are ADOS here in America are pure black? By his definition, then none of us are black, because the white man has infiltrated his way all through and in and out of our culture. So none of us are black. So his definition, if he's an ADOS type person, then he's not black either. But even if you aren't, like Dimitri just said, what does it matter? We are all on the same plantation. And what does that have to do? That dude could have been Asian and got killed. That does not justify a person getting murdered over an air freshener.
Where is the protection from the United States of America and your bullshit president? Can we get an executive order, Joe? You gave one for the Asians. Killing black people is the thing to do nowadays. You know, pimping used to be the thing. You know, pimping was a thing, man. Selling dope was a thing. But killing black folk is the thing, Joe Biden. Where is Miss Chucks and Pearls? When you gonna open your fucking mouth? You people that are putting these people in office, you really need to think about what you're doing. You need to think about what you are doing. They need to address this. Let me ask y'all a question. I want to go here because I gotta go here. I'm grassroots in the activism world. I'm boots on the ground in the activism world. Where the big mouth motherfucker want to be activists, national activists at right now? Fuck y'all gotta say, man. Y'all normally, y'all full of shit. Y'all are full of shit. Where y'all at, man? Oh, I know what they doing, Donovan. They waiting on Crump to pop up and do what he do so they can get on the gravy train and make the money. Where the pastors at? Just like Crystal Mendoza said, not one religion condemning the murder of black people. Where's the pastors at? Where the Congressional Black Caucus at? But you cocksuckers was out there last week when Lil Bim Doy Yang them said they were getting targeted. My people getting killed, and ain't nobody that has any substance inside of them saying a motherfucking thing right now. It's time out for this motherfucking singing, man. It's time out for this motherfucking marching, man. I've been down with these people here. It's been over a year now. Over a year. And we still talking about this shit? And you still singing your Negro spirituals? It's time to stop talking, man. It's time to stop singing, bro. Because I don't know when I'm going to be next. And honestly, y'all, I could have been next yesterday. Oh, no. I'm not hypothetically speaking. Because as I'm standing at the scene with the media, cop fires off a round of rubber bullets. Knock the dude off the thing. I'm just standing there with the media. I'm on my side, doing my thing. All of a sudden, a lady jump in front of me. Why? Because the same cop that just shot that dude had his gun aimed straight at me. Out of everybody in the motherfucking crowd. But you know, old 5-star, I had to tell him, you sure you want to do that? There's consequences for your actions. Because my people ain't singing. My people ain't kumbaya. Donovan.
You know, and that's another thing. And we thank you guys that tune in with us during the week. You know, we love the conversation and stuff. But as you guys know, we are the only Black media channel that I'm aware of that actually sends the 5-star general to the front lines. And he was actually on those front lines covering the story that you're not going to see on CNN. When his story broke, I'm here in California. I looked at all of the major news coverage. Not one of them was saying a damn thing in regards to that young man being murdered. It wasn't a news break, none of that. So again, you're only going to get this in the new black media and the war zone with the 5-star General Jerry Wayne Monroe, if you want to know what's really going on. So now that this thing has happened, and it's just like I've said, 5-star, I believe they are out here murdering black people until we do something about it. But we got the bootlicks out there telling us, oh, let's protest. Oh, let's pray on it. And they're going to continue to do that as long as we continue to do nothing about it. You can't walk up to a man non-violently and he's got a club in his hand. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And I think that's one of the things that they're doing. As long as we're not going to rise up and go ham, they're like, okay, good. They're still passive and peaceful. It still works. Crump and Al, whatever his name is, they still got these Negroes, pacified and peaceful. But what you guys didn't know, and a 5-star wasn't there, the first thing that they showed, oh my God, they're looting and they're doing all this. Well, what the hell are we supposed to be doing when they're just shooting us down in the street nilly-willy? We better start waking up, because like I said, if this is what they want to do, look, we are peaceful with those that are peaceful with us. We can no longer sit here and keep getting bashed in the head and talking about, I'm going to overcome them with our capacity to love. It ain't working. Demetra?
Say, man, let me say this, Demetra, and I want you to, because I know you're going to expound on it. How in the fuck this pop off and not one major news media outlet carrying it? Let me tell you why. And then I want you to follow. When we left from the crime scene, we went to the police department. 5 minutes after getting there, they turn off all the lights. It's dark. No media. Let me explain to y'all what's going on. They blacked that motherfucker out completely because they had something on their fucking mind that they was gonna do, and they didn't want no media there when it went on. They didn't want no media there when it went on. Say, man, you gotta be strategic with these motherfuckers. You gotta be strategic. And I'm sorry that I'm so animated, but I'm tired of our people being on the ground. They blacked that fucking place out last night. And then all of a sudden, people like, man, what's going on? Dude, they finna put the infrareds on y'all ass, man. They finna, Donovan, you in the military, they finna put the infrareds on you in this dark. You can't see them, but they can see you.
Right. As a matter of fact, you alluded to the fact that there were snipers on the roof.
Bruh, they up there. They deep. I'm telling you, man, them people were just out there chanting, they were singing, they doing normal for a protest. All of a sudden, these motherfuckers start firing off these flash bombs, smoke, the tear gas. And the tear gas, they fucked themselves because the wind was blowing at them. So the tear gas going back at they dumb asses. So, I mean, for no reason. For no reason. Right now, there's a visual. My people gave me the wrong information. I'm sitting here with y'all. I'm supposed to broadcast from there. It's over 1,000 people out there. When these people wake up and clearly understand that these people are outmanned and outgunned, you got to call in the National Guard. It doesn't matter how many you call because you're still outmanned. When you going to wake up and see that? It's time for the real boots on the ground people, Demetra, to get together with the local officials. We need to have a come to Jesus meeting, bitch, because we about to tear this bitch up. It need to be a come to Jesus meeting at this point. No other black person should go down in this city or this state. If motherfuckers is serious, it's time to have a come to Jesus meeting with it. So if you put your snipers on the roof, we gonna put our snipers on the roof. How you want to do this shit? If you ain't willing to die for this shit, then get back on your motherfucking plantation and go on back in the field and pick some motherfucking cotton, man.
So just to answer your question, as far as, the media being black, I did eventually start seeing it on different channels, it was hours and hours later, though, of course, but they don't want it to grow legs. They don't want to, blast it out and then more and more people go. And they're in cahoots with the police department as well. So, of course, they want to help spread false narratives and all of that. And they didn't want what happened, to happen last night as far as things burning. But a couple of politicians did make a statement. I did see that Cory Booker made one. He is part of the Congressional Black Caucus. And Joe Biden, he made a Facebook and tweet. And he says on Facebook, "I'm thinking about Daunte Wright and his family and the pain, anger, and trauma that Black America experiences every day." Then he went on to tweet, "Today, I'm thinking about Daunte Wright and his family and the pain and anger and trauma that Black America experiences every day. While we await a full investigation, we know what we need to do to move forward, rebuild trust, and ensure accountability so no one is above the law." Now, so a couple, politicians stuff did tweet things, but, we know that Joe Biden is pro-police. They're actually going to scrap their police commission that they said they were going to build, said they need to do something else. We also know in their Lift Every Voice plan that they are actually looking to give like $900 million, something like that, toward police departments. They say to rebuild the police departments, but we know that Joe Biden and Kamala are tough on crime, which means tough on your Black ass. And so those are, I'd like to say he was sincere. I think it's just a tweet, to cover the bases. He has to do it, but nothing will change. And you know what? We're never going to get on board. And I don't want to say never. I don't want to deal in absolutes too much, but Black people won't get on board because a lot of us will read that tweet and that Facebook post from President Joe Biden and say, "Oh, we've been acknowledged. Surely something is going to happen." And we know it's not, because Trayvon Martin happened under the Obama administration. In fact, the wholesale murder of Black people upticked under the Obama administration. And guess who was there? Joe Biden was there. And so it's, the best way to change things for Black people is for one, make us a protected underclass and write legislation that would actually help Black people stop being murdered wholesale by police officers by getting rid of qualified immunity and a couple other things. But right now it's just more symbolism. Today or yesterday, Daunte, and today and tomorrow, somebody else. And so, we as Black people have got to really, and I talked about this yesterday on my show, we need to unify. I don't know how many times we're going to keep saying that. There is no magic answer. Nobody in the White House is coming to save you. Your pastor is not going to save you. Black Lives Matter is not going to save you. Hell, the CEO, Patrice Cullors, she done ran off and bought her 4 houses and was in the process of buying a 5th one. Is still in the process of buying a 5th one in the Bahamas. So she taking all that money that whoever sent her and her homies to go enrich themselves. She's supposed to be this big time socialist and helping people, but she's a capitalist. She didn't even buy houses next to Black people. She bought them next to white people because she don't want to be around your Black asses, her or her wife, and the rest of them. So the point that I'm making is nobody's coming to save Black people. It's our job to do that, and police officers will stop killing us when we practice group economics. I heard Gary talk about that yesterday a lot on his live feed, saying we got to withhold our money from this oppressive system of white supremacy. That's the only time they're going to listen to us.
Crystal Mendoza says, "Revolt, not riot. Don't use that term. My nephew was murdered in 2020, and we waiting for findings on a private autopsy. His death will not be in vain. Annihilate qualified immunity." Revolt, not riot. Why is it a problem when Black people riot? Why is it a problem when Black people raise up? What the fuck was y'all watching on January 6th? It's okay for them to do it. It's okay for them to break into a federal building, steal from a federal building, documents, furniture, kill people. It's okay. But when we do it, we got to be talked down. Man, some of us are sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm tired of my people being murdered. You don't want to stop spending your money. Demetri K, look at me. They don't want to stop spending their money. Now, I need you to understand, the easiest way to beat them is to stop spending your money. Because if you don't stop, some of us about to get loose. Because we're tired. Please stop spending your money. Please don't let me go to jail, man. Because I'm tired. All it takes is us to stop spending our money. But I can't get you to buy into that. So get what? I shall never be a revolutionary until I go to jail. I can't be on the level with some of the great ones until I suffer like them. And I'm at the point where if I got to give my life, I got to give my life. Then y'all gonna wake up. It's only two ways to do this. We either gonna have to die for it, or we gonna have to stop spending our money. Now, what way you want to do it? Because I'm ready. I already don't spend my money with them. So why is it that when they do it, it's cool? But the minute we raise up, them looting a Walmart and shit compared to breaking into the United States Capitol.
You know, it was funny that you bring up the June 6th. I was talking to a person today in regards to that white lady that flew up there with her buddies, and she believes in her filings that, and this is the one that went to ask the judge to go down to Mexico because she had a planned vacation. And he was like, well, you know, vandalism, this is how white people think. That's why I know they're crazy, okay? I know they're crazy. He said, well, you know, her vandalism and stuff isn't enough to really warrant jail terms. Now, again, I'm a military person. In any country, according to natural warfare, when you try to overthrow the government, there is no trial. You are lined up against the wall and you are shot immediately because there is no doubt what you tried to do. You tried to turn over the government and you became a traitor to your country, which means we don't need you here. Only in America can you attempt to overturn your government and you get bail. Those people should have been shot. There should not be a trial. There should not be habeas corpus. They shouldn't get none of that. Because like I said, if that was black people, what would the outcome have been?
Demetri, do me a favor. Can you read me the first Joe Biden tweet again?
The first one?
Yes, ma'am.
He says, today I'm thinking about Daunte Wright and his family and the pain, anger, and trauma that Black America experiences every day.
What was the other comment that he added on to the second one about letting, let the system, whatever that was?
He says, while we await a full investigation, we know what we need to do to move forward, rebuild trust, and ensure accountability so no one is above the law.
All right. Now, if you're a Biden fan, I'm going to make you mad. Fuck you, Joe Biden. Let me go slow for you. I want the whole world out there, say it with me. Say, fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Joe Biden. You know why I said fuck you, Joe? Because you're a disrespectful little Dixiecrat motherfucker. You couldn't get out and do a press conference like you did for the Asians. Daunte Wright was only a tweet, huh, brother? That's all he was worth. He was only worth a tweet. Don't tell me about let the system work. These motherfuckers are the judge, jury, and executioner in a traffic stop. See, Joe, I know you get it because you understand. You understand. You understand that if you rile these Negroes up, you don't have enough National Guard to handle this shit. You don't have enough, bro. It was shown to you last year. God gave you a prelude of what to expect. You want to keep them quiet, Joe. But you can't fix this, Joe, unless you go in and do that executive order for black people like you did for the Asians. What's stopping you from getting rid of qualified immunity, Joe? You know why? You'll never get rid of it because you were one of the reasons that we even got it. Remember when you were back in there in civil rights, Joe? Remember how y'all voted for that in civil rights, Joe? The civil rights era? Remember how your people, the strong Thurmans and all them, this is what they needed to protect the cops when they was busting our fucking heads open, Joe? Fuck Joe Biden. Fuck Kamala Harris. Kiss my ass and a fight come with it. You're not trying to help us, Joe. You don't give a fuck about Daunte Wright. If you did, you wouldn't have disrespected him, his family, his child by tweeting your condolences. You'd have did the same thing that you did for the Asian community. You'd have stood in front of that fucking podium. Your vice president would have stood in front of that podium. Y'all went out there and voted for these sorry motherfuckers, and we reaping the benefits of it right now.
Well, first of all, we don't have the power that Asians have.
Logical realist says, does resisting arrest have anything to do? Fuck resisting arrest. You need to see me personally. Resisting arrest. You motherfuckers killed people at the Capitol. And they still ain't arrested you cocksuckers for murder. Fuck you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I mean, I'll go ahead and address it. I think it's a fair question. I don't know if they're being facetious or not. But again, you know, he asks, and I don't know if it's a he, but does resisting arrest have anything to do with all the issues with police officers? No, because if that was the case, everybody that resists arrest, black, white, Hispanic, Asian, whatever, they would all be dead, right? If we're applying that same logic, they would all be dead. I can't remember where it was, but I saw an article today where a police officer was trying to, you know, coax I don't know if he was a white man or whatever. The white man had a gun pointed at him. In fact, the white man shot and killed the officer. Shot and killed him because the officer's trying to talk to him, and the guy has a gun pointed to him. So by your logic, I mean, that dude should be dead. It sounds like you're resisting arrest if you have a gun, but no, it doesn't have anything to do with it. What it is police officers, a lot of them don't see black people as human. It's nothing for them to take a black person's life and say, oops, oh my God, it was an accident. I really didn't mean it. Oh, sorry, won't let that happen again. And so that's what they want you to think. Oh, he was resisting arrest. It was something same thing with George Floyd. The defense is trying to say that George Floyd, if he would have just gotten the car, right? Derek Chauvin would have put his knee to his neck. We know that's not true. Derek Chauvin had, they say now, 22 other complaints before he got to George. And so anyway, I want to go back to my original comment about the Asians. We don't have the power that the Asians have. The Asians, they practice group economics. They are on one page. Again, I'm going to keep bringing up Peter Lang. He murdered Akai Gurley there in New York in a dark hallway, shot in there. He was a police officer, shot in there, killed a guy, Gurley, and he was found guilty. But the DA, who was a black man, let him off because the Asians pulled all their resources together to make sure that their fellow, Asian didn't do any jail time. The same thing is true with the killer of Latasha Harlins. She was found guilty. She didn't do, I think she went for a couple of days or whatever, but she basically was let out under probation. And so they have political and economic power. We don't have that. And this is why it really frustrates me, because we as black people are always looking for somebody else to save us. Nobody's coming to save black people. How thick in the head do we really have to be? They're not murdering Asians cold blood in the middle of the street like they doing us. They're protecting Asians. Joe Biden and Kamala, they're writing legislation while we're still waiting to get an anti-lynching law for almost 200 years passed. And they're writing legislation on the strength that it's us that are attacking Asians. But black people are getting mowed down in the middle of the street, and he tweets, let's wait to see what the investigation, turns up. You saw what happened. Why do you need to wait? He has the power to do pretty much whatever he wants. He can write legislation to stop that. He does not want to do that. Him and Kamala are pro-police, and they are anti-black people. Black people put Joe Biden in the White House and didn't ask for anything in return. Nothing at all. And he got in there. So what makes you think Joe Biden is going to do anything to help protect black people? He's not. He doesn't want to. You're not going to make him. In fact, he told the Negro leaders, y'all get behind Hispanics. You guys need to learn to work together with them because basically they're coming over here and ain't nothing you can do about it. They're coming over here, but what he didn't tell you is they're coming over here to replace your black ass. Coming over to replace you because you as black people don't want nothing from America. You might say you do, but you're not putting forth the works to get what you want. So
I've always noticed, and I'm studying law, since you keep bringing up the fact of resisting arrest. One of the first things that you do when you get out of your cruiser is they teach you how to approach a car. And normally when you approach the car, you have your hand on the top of your gun. Am I correct, Donovan? It's not up, your finger's not on the trigger. Your hand is on the top of your gun. So how does she confuse her taser with her gun? Fuck resisting arrest. You motherfuckers go shoot up a whole church house full of people. They put you in a bulletproof vest and bring you to Burger King. You think we ain't seeing that shit? You think we gonna keep taking that shit? When them young gladiators get loose and start busting y'all ass, y'all gonna need some legislation. You gonna need some bandages, some WD. You gonna have to spray WD-40 on your ass. Dog, you playing a game. Y'all making these little fly ass comments thinking you can hide out in the suburbs. This happened in the suburbs. You're not ready for what's gonna go on. You're not ready for what's going to go on. So I'm going to give you fair warning based on the number of people I spoke to last night. If Chaven gets less than 25 years, they are going to decimate this motherfucker. What that got to do with resisting arrest? Nothing. You can resist arrest. First of all, that man didn't even need her in that car. He had that situation under control. And if I think and I saw what I saw, did you see his face after she shot him? Did you see the black officer's face? Like, what the fuck did you just do? He had him. See, you don't want to admit that. And you don't want to admit everything that Demetra just said is the truth. You don't want us here. You are making black people hate you. Y'all out there that's running your mouth saying these fucked up comments. You think these black people ain't watching that? You think these black people ain't watching that shit? I got a kid right now in Fort Bend County. A bully Latino kid kept fucking with him one day last week, right before Easter. He put his foot in his ass sideways. Now they want to talk about we gonna suspend him and send him to alternative school. That mama say I'm calling Mr. Monroe. Watch him walk. He deserved to get his ass kicked. Just like some of y'all deserve to get your ass kicked. Because some of y'all are still in the mind frame of your ancestors. And you want us to believe that you've changed. When you make these comments, we know that you have not changed. I know somewhere deep in the pits of my soul, I'm not kin to Fred Hampton. I'm not kin to Malcolm. I got some goddamn Nat Turner in me, and you bitches about to make it come out.
You know, I kind of like the way you referenced people that are out in the suburbs. While you folks have sold Big Mama's house that was in the inner city that is now $1 million plus, even though it's, you know, a 1960s type, you've sold all that and moved out to the suburbs while the white folks move into the inner city under prime real estate. How many of you guys have heard about the situation that's going on in New York City where, you know, they're moving people out and the Asians are moving out and out of these things, and the government is giving these people money. You know, in the state of New York, they're giving illegal people in the state of New York $16,500. They're not even legal citizens, and that's the legislation that the Democratic Party is giving to illegals. I'm in California. Illegal people got a bill to stop profiling. You cannot profile a Hispanic or Mexican or whatever you want to call them. Black people have been here for 400 years. We can't get a bill. But I want to say this about New York City. Since when do Asians or anybody need a bill and the property owners need a bill to stop people from moving into their properties? New York City, a person moves out, another person's going to move right in. That's prime real estate. But this is the kind of stuff that they do for other groups. And I'm going to say this, in those areas, you've got people that we constantly vote for that look like us, have been sitting in office for 30 plus years. Some of them been there for 6 years. They do absolutely nothing for us. Where is your Maxine Waters now that this young black man has been killed? I'm not saying she hasn't made a comment, but why isn't she on TV? Why isn't she outraged? But, oh, let Trump say something bad, she's on TV. Let Megan Thee Stallion talk about WAP, audacity of a woman to say that. She's on TV. But let a black man be killed, not one black representative says a damn word.
Let me say this here, because I want white America to understand this, especially the white America that's fighting against black folk. You ain't shit without us. You wasn't shit before we got here. You ain't been shit since we've been here. And you ain't shit in the future without us. Now let me break that down for your motherfucking racist ass. You need our money in your stank ass economy. You need our money. You don't have a choice but to have it in there, because you ain't shit without it. I said it to you. You need to locate me? Let me know. I'll pull up on your motherfucking ass. You ain't shit without us. None of y'all. And that's what it is. And all this, we need to come together. I'm not coming together with no racist motherfuckers. Come together with some folk I ain't never been together with in my life. Man, you don't want me here. You'll kill me in a heartbeat. Dimitri.
I'm going to say this with as much love as I can. And it's not to you, Donovan, at all. So I'm saying, I don't care if Maxine Waters says anything. I don't care if any of them says anything. They're all getting their, big piece of chicken. That's all they care about. So what? She comes out and says, she said she was going to help us get reparations, 20 years ago or so? She ain't talked about it really since. So, they're going to give us lip service. It's not what they say, it's what we make them do. Maxine should have been snatched off of the seat a long time ago, so we can't keep blaming Maxine or any of them. Maxine is like, well, those Negroes don't care. When it's time for me to run again, I'm going to get up there and do a mean soft shoe and, talk to Cardi B and Megan and an electric slide. I don't know if y'all saw Patrice Cullors of Black Lives Matter, but she said yesterday was National Electric Slide Day to get rid of, all this bullshit in the world. I just
National Electric Slide Day.
I put it on my page. Go look it up and post it.
You think she can hear me? You think she watch us? Or maybe her people, maybe her people can get this here to her for me. Slide these nuts in your mouth, bitch.
Woo! Tell us how you really feel. And so I guess I'm just saying that is because those people, they've stopped caring a long time ago. Okay, many years ago, maybe they cared. I don't know. They cared long before we even could get into politics. Okay, and they don't care anymore. But it's up to us to make sure that they don't keep holding those seats. They've shown us, especially our Black leaders, that they care more about other people. And Malcolm talked to us a long time ago about that. Our so-called leadership, misleadership, they always running to put everybody else's fire out while our building is burning. Stop voting those people in. That's where it's going to matter. You know, and I'll go back to this. We had Wendell Champion on the show during election season, and many a Negro didn't want to hear it. He's a Republican, just on the strength of him being a Republican. Now, I don't know what he may or may not have done, but at least give him a chance, you know, for 2 years or so, every 2 years, give him a chance to see what he was going to do. And if he didn't do better than Sheila Jackson Lee, then vote somebody else in. But a lot of Black people couldn't fathom voting a Republican in. But it's like the Democrat you got in there, you know, what has she really done for you? Like, what does she do for Black people to move the ball? And so we can continue to blame those politicians, but it's on us that they keep getting in there and giving us nothing. All of these Black people, they make sure Hispanics get something. They're spending $66 million a week to house illegal immigrants' children that were left at the border. They, being the Biden administration, is spending $60 million a week. And all of those Black misleadership, they're on board with that. Go on your favorite Black politicians' Twitter or whatever, and I guarantee you, they have said hashtag stop Asian hate. So they're on board with everybody else but your Black ass. So stop blaming them for not doing anything for you. Blame your damn self.
Mr. Pirate Brain told me to watch out. Susan Rice will come for me. Go get Susan Rice. Go get Me Too. Go get Lulac. Go get all them cocksuckers. I want you to line them up like this here. They look like bowling pins to me. I will eat them bitches up. You mean to tell me you on house number 5 and you ain't used none of the money to help the community? But you on house number 5. Kiki will say how these people keep getting back in office. I can say this in good faith. Y'all keep putting them back in because it ain't me. I don't vote for them bitches. I don't vote for them. Y'all keep putting them back in because they come with some crazy shit. Like right now, all this shit that's going on, with this voter suppression, all this shit that's going on. They got a way of making you believe that shit don't stink. And when it's time for elections, you fall for it over and over and over again. This is how they keep getting back in office. And yet they don't do shit. And as soon as they get back in office, it don't take a month for us to be fed up and tired with them cocksuckers again. Now we got to suffer for 3-4 years because y'all have went out there and failed for the motherfucking okie doke. Why didn't y'all vote for David Duke when he ran? He was no better than Joe Biden. Joe Biden just happens to be a nice racist. He's a closet racist.
Yep. You know, think about this, you guys. And like I said, we're not here to tell you how to vote or what to vote. You should vote your interest. You should vote your pocketbook. You should look at a politician's resume when you open your door. And if you see crime and drugs and messed up streets, that's their resume. That's what you're voting for. But here's what the Democratic Party is going to do for you. Because, again, a lot of you guys are waking up and you guys are spreading the message. And we appreciate that. But here's what's going to happen here. And mark my words. The Democratic Party is going to do this. They do not want to hold the majority because now they have no excuse why they can't pass certain legislation. Ralph Warnock, who just won in Georgia, after telling those people, we're going to give you guys $2,000, he's up for re-election this year. Or is it next year? I think he has like 2 years left on it, whatever, but he's coming up. He's not going to win that state. And then Mitch McConnell's going to be back in control because the Democrats are not here to deliver for you. And here's what they're going to use in the next 4 years. Joe Biden is not going to make it to re-election. He said he'd like to run. It's in his plans, but he didn't say he was going to do it. And if you people actually think Kamala Harris is going to win, you guys obviously don't know politics. Here's what the Democratic Party is going to tell you. Oh, well, no matter who we nominate, no matter who they nominate, they're going to tell you, oh, well, Trump's coming back. Y'all don't want Trump back now, do you? You got to vote Democrat because, Trump was so terrible. That's what they're going to use. You guys are going to fall for it once again, and we're going to be right back. Instead of 4 years behind, now we're 8 years behind. You got one man in the Senate that is holding up an infrastructure bill that is supposed to help rebuild all of this stuff. Think about this. Think about it. When Joe Biden talks about, I'm here to help the middle class, 70% of Black people aren't in the middle class. Who is he talking about? Y'all need to wake up and read between the lines. Do for self. Be one first.
Gary, did you get what I sent you?
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. I think we need to put a new label on it. And I'm gonna go get me a shirt made. Y'all may not want it. We need to do something with these political Black supremacists. Whoa. Yeah, we got a problem. And our problem is these Negroes, man. Yeah, we got a problem with white folk. Yeah, we got a problem. But hold on a second, man. Most of the damage being done to us is being done by the Negroes. I'm going to have me a shirt made. And I don't give a fuck. They got Black supremacists in the world. And they political Black supremacists. Because they not working for us. They working for themselves. Maxine Water, you a Black supremacist. Sheila Jackson Lee, you a Black supremacist. Rodney Ellis, you a Black supremacist. Because you fucking over Black people. And I'm tired of it. Kamala Harris, take your chucks. And you know what you could do with them. But they used to call her jawbone anyway.
Yes, the old jawbone thing. But we really got to start waking up, Black people, because guess what? We're at the end. We're at the end right now. They are out there pushing the envelope to see how far they are going to continue to annihilate us and us not fight back. Those days of praying and those days are done. Those days are done. And they're going to continue to keep doing what they're doing as long as we don't fight back. As a soldier, I'm going to tell you, one of the best things you do to take over a nation, when a nation can't defend itself, what the hell do you think other bigger nations do? When Muammar Gaddafi, under the Obama administration and under the Hillary Clinton State Department, when he said, hey, I'm going to get rid of my nuclear weapons, you guys help my country out, give me money and support and infrastructure. The minute he got rid of his biological weapons and he couldn't defend himself, the man ended up dead. But you got a man in North Korea that said, regardless of 4 million of my people starving to death, I'm not going to give up my weapons. And look how we treat him. You know why? He has a stick just like we have a stick. This is the playbook. This is what we got to do. Once we show these people that we mean as much business as they do, they're going to start treating us a little bit different. And that's, at this point, that's all we can do. And somebody said, Al Hastings, God rest his soul, he just died, 84 years old, impeached federal judge, corrupted, was reelected several times in 1993, been in office, took advantage of his interns, was fucking interns and doing everything else that everybody else does up in Capitol Hill. I have a show, a series that I call Black Politicians Ain't Shit. And a lot of people get upset because I say Black politicians ain't shit, but I'm not saying it just to talk. I actually show you guys their record of what they have done in office. We do not call Martin Luther King an icon. We do not call Malcolm X an icon. How the fuck is John Lewis an icon? But yet he spent more time with the oppressor than he did fighting the oppressor. Wake up.
Gary, go on and share that. I got something for you guys as viewing pleasure. I know you haven't seen a hot video in a while, some real, some good dancing here. So what you're about to see is Patrice Cullors. She is a co-founder of the Black Lives Matter movement, and she has a special message for you. You ready? Here it go. Let me turn it up for you.
Colors, and welcome to Fuck White Supremacy, Let's Get Free with the Hammer Museum. I want you all to step in wherever you are and do the electric slide with me. This performance is for every single person who is being impacted by white supremacy, every single person that's being impacted by COVID-19, by sexism, homophobia, transphobia. Let's dance together.
Y'all like that? She says that we're going to do that was yesterday. We missed it. I don't know how. Sleep at night. But she wants to do the electric slide to get rid of a whole lot of things. But you know what she didn't say? She didn't say anything about Black people specifically. And I thought that was Black Lives Matter organization. But she wants to do I don't even know if that was the electric slide that she was doing. It might be I don't know, the butter biscuit version of it. I've never seen that version before. And I have questions, okay? And as I said on my page, if you didn't watch it, then you would have never believed me. But that's what Black people get. We get twerking at the polls. We get the electric slide. Well, maybe we didn't because she didn't mention us. Like, we get just niggadry. I don't know if that's a word, but it is tonight. We get pure just niggadom. Niggadom. And you name it. Fish fries, pole dancing, chucks and pearls, the WAP. We get Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. Like, we get the pure nigga shit. And we love it. We love every bit of it. We get to do the wobble at the polls and, all the pure just, we don't want much, do we? I'm baffled.
We are mentally brain dead. We are mentally brain dead. So let me ask y'all a question, since y'all out there that like the police and they got so much power. Their station is surrounded right now. There's thousands of people out there. They didn't put up a fence. They standing behind the fence like they gladiators. But y'all some bitches. Say, man, they can't handle us. But the question is everything we got, the thing is everything we got as a people, we either had to fight for it or we had to die for it. I want you to think about everything that we've accomplished since they let us off them boats. We either had to fight for it or we had to die for it. Why they won't come out them gates? Why the National Guard don't come out there? See, because tonight is different. You got some very angry people out there, and some of them strapped and they ain't having it. They not having it. See, you're setting the game up to where you think you ain't finna drop no atomic bomb on U.S. soil. But if you get to fucking around, Donovan, you the military man. This gonna be worse than Southeast Asia. The ass whooping that they gonna take. This gonna be worse because they got more guns than the police. They got more soldiers than the police. The only thing they don't have, white, black, whoever out there, they're not as organized. But if they ever get organized, the game is over. And you can run your mouth all you want. Theory, I get you. I don't care nothing about the boats and where we come from. I'm talking about where we at in 2021. I'm talking about the fact that, goddammit, I could get a call that they done blew your brains out. It's time to stop playing this game. I understand some of y'all are highly intelligent, but it's time for some goddamn common street sense in this game, man. All we got to do is get organized. And you right, Fred Davis. You're going to have a set of nuts on, boy. You're going to have a set of nuts. This got to stop, man. But two ways, I keep telling you.
And you hit on a big topic. Not only the fact that, if they get organized, we're in trouble. One thing about the military is this. It is hard to fight an enemy when the enemy is behind your line. Nobody fights a war when your enemy is behind you, because now you have an insurgency going on as you're trying to do what you're doing moving forward, but you got to deal with what's going on behind your line, which makes your movement less effective. So, which is another big problem why the military dealing with Black people in this country, with so many Black people and brown people in the military, it is hard for them to bring the hammer down on Black people, because there's a lot of Black people in the military that will not do what it is they're ordered to do in regards to white supremacy. So it's very, very hard. Wait, what movie was that? I forget. Ice Cube said it. We behind enemy lines, dog. Higher learning. That's what he was talking about. We're behind the enemy lines.
He done said some profound things. And based on what happened yesterday, Cube said something else. Oh, it ain't over, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was just reading some of these comments here. And Crystal, how you doing? You say, no disrespect and doesn't apply for authentic Black women in the struggle for self-preservation of Black people, but many Black women need to sit their asses down. Without the Black men, we won't make it neither. No, absolutely. I mean, we can't afford to discount our man. And unfortunately, Black men and women are the only ones that do that to each other, especially out in public, all on social media. I don't need no man, and Black women this, you don't deserve a high valued man, and all that nonsense just to keep us in a schism. But we need each other. We aren't even populating the way we used to. We don't keep our babies. We just in general, I don't say in general, but a lot of us don't even like each other. We've been sold a pipe dream that somebody else's woman is more desirable. Somebody else's man is more desirable. So, I mean, we have to stop the nonsense, because at the end of the day, we all going down together. When this is all said and done, when we're all done playing games and, dogging and dragging each other on social media and all of that, and when this is all said and done, don't nobody want to be with us. And the perfect example is my little brother. He says when he was in high school, they had to do an experiment in some class they were in, and they asked each student were asked which other race would they want to be with besides their own. He says nobody said Black. He said him and his other Black classmate were the only people who said, other races or whatever. They all did, but nobody said Black. And I said, well, what does that tell you? We want to be with them so bad, but they're telling you we don't want to be with you.
My sisters need to align themselves with grown men at the moment. This thing is about to pop off, and you need to make sure you got a grown man in the house to protect you, because it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, man. So I mean, me, I got a way of putting things. Demetri, hopefully you ain't chewing on nothing over there. But I'm just telling you, sisters, you got a choice in the matter. You can keep laying up with these big dick boys or get you a small dick man. That's all it boils down to. Because these dudes Right now, we need every man in America, black man for sure, standing up right now, man. You need you standing up right now, bro. Man, when some of y'all stand up, some of you real OGs, y'all done got a little bit too quiet, man. Y'all done got a little bit too quiet, man. And it's time for us to stand up, man. We can make all this stop, but it's just time for us to stand up.
Yeah, I mean, I was eating some peanuts, but that's neither here nor there. But I mean, I mean, at the end of the day, whatever a man is rocking with in his pants, I mean, I guess that's great it's for one thing and one thing only. But you know, what are we gonna do when we put our feet on the ground after we stop? You know, and I'm speaking as women. After we get done using it, then what are we gonna do? You know, there's way more to us and Black relationships than just, you know, lying down and having kids. That's the easy part. The hard part is raising the children to actually be something. And as they used to say a long time ago, to be a credit to the race. Right now, there's a lot of us who are not creating and raising children to be a credit to the race. They are everything but. And so we need to get very clear as to what our goal is as a people. Do we want to continue to be a permanent underclass, be at the bottom and be, you know, in last place? Or do we want to actually do something about the position that we hold in society? And this is not about appeasing white supremacy or white people. Look at us, we do matter. No, it ain't about that. It's about proving that to ourselves and be a fully functional, non-dependent people. That's what this is about. And getting rid of the brainwashing and the conditioning that we've suffered from for so many years. I swear for God, I can't think of another race that dogs their black man or their man and woman the way we do. It's disgusting.
We got a long way to go as a group of people, but the solution, as we try to say, is we need to unify. And I mean, and we got to unify for whatever problems that we may have among each other. Right now, we have the one problem that affects us all across the nation, and it's these police departments and the outright murder of Black people. We still need to get justice for Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery and so many other things. So we got to keep our eyes on the prize. Let's take a look at this video.
The police putting on their gas masks right now. This ain't gonna end good, man. This ain't gonna end good, bro. It's what it came to. I tell y'all what, man. Let's say our goodbyes, cause I can't stay on the arm. I can't stay on the arm of the sofa. I gotta go get in the action, man. I gotta go get out there in the action, man. Final thoughts, Ms. Demetra.
I saw that Ron Trell, how you doing? You say breaking news, Daunte Wright's case is ruled a homicide. I didn't see that anywhere. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's on CNN.
Also, they did say that she.
It needs to be a homicide.
Wow. You know what though? They move rather quickly. They move rather quickly.
Demetra, the first officer had him. She didn't even have to intervene. He had him. That's why he looked at her like, what the fuck did you just do? You've been trained to handle that type of stuff. I just feel like if you're afraid to be a cop, don't be a cop.
Yeah, just straight up trigger happy. So yeah, we're gonna see what happens. But just because you ruled it a homicide, that ain't nothing.
That don't mean shit.
Yeah, she actually needs to go down for the count. We ain't talking about no slap on the wrist because that's not going to cut it. If it's a homicide, give her some time like anybody else would have if they, committed a homicide. And so I won't be back tomorrow because it is my birthday. I will be 25. So at least I don't think I will. We'll see. But anyway.
Well, I just want to say this. Isn't it funny how these politicians and these policemen and people, they move so quickly to do what they should have done from the very beginning when the people rise up and say, we don't give a fuck anymore. We have nothing to lose at this point. Isn't that funny how they quickly move the wheels of justice and law to keep the people in check? Sounds like a blueprint to me. Every time something goes down. But hey, before we go, I want to remind you guys, you don't have to wait till $2 Tuesdays to drop some money in there. A lot of y'all got y'all taxes, y'all got y'all stimulus. Hey, the War Zone, New Black Media, help us get our candidate into the Houston School District, Gary Wayne Monroe. Put him in there, drop a few bucks when you can, do what I do. Once a week, drop whatever you can. And by the time you get there, you'll be surprised that he will have the campaign trough to get on that board and really give a damn about our children. If anything that we're going to come out this year, we're going to start getting candidates into office that's going to do for us first before they do for everybody else. So guys, go ahead and hit that Cash App. We'd really, really appreciate it. And again, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Happy birthday, Demetra. Have a good one.
I want to tell D happy birthday. I know I cut up a lot, but that's okay because if I'm the Muslim brother, I'm the sinner in training. I ain't got it right yet, so just bear with me. But I'm finna head out, y'all. I ain't gonna do the music. My people's out there. I gotta rock with my peoples, man. I ain't come here to sit and hide, man. I ain't come here to be quiet, man. Some days you just gotta leave it on the floor, partner. And that's what it is. So until tomorrow, my good people, and I may be broadcasting the War Zone live from the field tomorrow, in the middle of everything. I wish I could turn my camera around so y'all could see, but I may have to just turn it around physically. But hopefully, it's what it is at this point. We got to get on, and I'm finna head out to the field, y'all. Y'all be ready to tune in. I got my extra battery tonight. We only popping, y'all. We ain't running out of no juice. I'll holler at y'all, man, and we'll holler at y'all tomorrow. War Zone, baby. You know what it is.